This is Governor J.B. Pritzker pictured alongside a peacekeeper 6 days after this photo was taken. Court records claim this man, listed as both Keller and Kellen McMiller, was part of a violent crash and grab on Michigan Avenue that killed a young father-to-be. Chicago police say it was a squad of 7 who shattered the Michigan Avenue storefront of Louis Vuitton and sped off with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of designer goods, killing a father on September 11th. Police say this man, listed as both Keller and Kellen McMiller, pictured here for a prior arrest, was one of the fleeing thieves. Court records show McMiller had outstanding warrants in Cook County, Florida, Wisconsin, and Indiana.
If we can solve the problem.
Days earlier, McMiller had posed with Governor J.B. Pritzker at an event with peacekeepers. In a statement to ABC7 in response to our email asking about the picture with McMiller, Pritzker's office said in part, "We were extremely troubled to learn that this individual was arrested for his alleged involvement in this serious crime, and we expect them to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law."
Let me tell you how this works for everybody that really don't understand what's going on here. One of the reasons why J.B. Pritzker, who was the governor of Illinois, and Brandon Johnson, who's the mayor of Chicago, and several other Democratic leaders across the United States of America, whether you want to talk about California and Los Angeles and Baltimore and Maryland and all of these places, the reason why they don't want the Trump administration to come in and stop crime is because it would stop the money train. Well, how does that work? Basically, it works like this. So these type of individuals petition the federal government and the state government for funds for community officers, part of their initiative to defund the police. And what that does is it allocates resources. Basically, they spend money to pay people and organizations and nonprofits and people from the hood to become community officers that basically negotiate between gangs and try to convince people not to stop crime. Then what they do is they fudge the numbers and they say, well, we have a lower crime rate and it's underreported crime. And so we don't want the National Guard to come in here and actually stop crime. What we want is more resources to continue to do the things that's great. Meanwhile, you have people that haven't had change behavior. Nothing is really happening. Crime is not really stopping. And so what happens is they just continue to get the money train, and gang members and unvetted people like this go out, take pictures with the governor and the mayor, and then they can try to get more money from the federal government. This is why they don't want the National Guard to come in and actually stop crime, because it would force them to actually manage the budget more effectively. Chicago, for example, is operating at a $1 billion plus annual budget deficit, meaning that every single year their deficit increases. So the mayor will then come in and say, hey, listen, we don't really have a spending problem. We have a budget problem, meaning that they are saying that they need more money, and it's because of legacy costs and things that happened in the past that they can't manage their pre-COVID budget. And so that pre-COVID budget was what they were really supposed to be going based off of and having a surplus. But instead, the school systems is underfunded by $734 million this year. $1.15 billion, which is expected to increase, is what the budget deficit is this year. They continue to raise taxes. They keep saying that they want to tax the rich. And meanwhile, they're giving all of their money over into criminals and people that they do not vet. They do not vet. For example, some of you that may be watching this don't know who Big U is. Big U is a gangster, a gang member, and a person that has been recently indicted and arrested over on the West Coast. And he had been getting money from the federal government and the state allocation for years while continuing his criminal enterprise allegedly. And these are the people that they are saying, hey, we are sending out the gang members and we're sending out the people that are of the community, and we're going to continue to deploy these people to stop crime in the community. So what they're basically doing is they are paying them. They're giving out tax dollars to people to pretend like they're stopping crime. And that's why this individual right here is a person that was in the Louis Vuitton cash smash and grab. And often at times, a lot of these people do not get caught. It just so happened that God works in mysterious ways, that they killed somebody on the way to his job at the hospital who happens to be a good father and a good, a person that takes care of business, and his family is taken away from him. And then due to research, because let's be clear, they know who's who. The politicians, the police officers, the governor, they all know who's who and what's happening. And when they arrest them, they're easily able to pull up their record and find out what the hell is going on, right? And so what they do is they scrub the website of a person that's taking a picture next to him, who just so happens to be one of the people in a smash and grab that is arrested for now killing a man, when they should have had the National Guard in there, and this never should have happened in the first place. That man should be alive, the taxpayers should still have their money, and the governor and the mayor should stop finessing people, trying to convince them that they are actually doing a better job and giving their Martin Luther King speeches, but instead they should be trying to stop crime within the community. And so this is the scourge. This is the loop. This is the reason why Democrats and black people continue to get finessed over and over and over and over and over again. They need to stop these programs. They need to stop giving handouts. They need to stop negotiating with criminals and people that's not doing the right thing in society, and start actually stopping crime and managing their budget more effectively. This is the truth. I don't know how many times we got to tell y'all this in order for y'all to wake up. How much more proof? How much more evidence? How many more people have to lose their lives? How many more decades are you going to be lowering crime and having a underfunded police budget, while at the same time raising taxes and trying to tax rich people, and you got a 50% vacancy rate at the Magnificent Mile? How much more? How much more are y'all willing to endure through before you open up your eyes and say, you know what, enough is enough, and we need to actually do the best thing in the community? These ain't nothing but finesse schemes, bro. And the Trump administration see it. He's not necessarily calling it for what it is, because he's trying to give them an opportunity to stop crime, and then they can actually do some things. But yet this guy right here, J.B. Pritzker, they say he has ambitions to become the president of the United States of America.
McMiller is charged with murder, burglary, and fugitive from justice in the deadly crash and grab on Michigan Avenue. Court records reveal an extensive and violent criminal background, including drug charges, domestic battery, armed robbery, and probation violations in Cook County. He was charged with battery against a police officer and resisting arrest in Miami-Dade County last year. A signed warrant indicated McMiller was violating supervision. Governor Pritzker's office included this photo with McMiller, which has since been scrubbed as part of a press release touting the success of the Peacekeepers program in reducing violent crime. The Peacekeepers initiative receives tens of millions of dollars in government funding each year. McMiller was working.
They receive tens of millions of dollars in government funding each year. I don't want you to forget that part.
As what's called a participant in Peacekeepers with the group Public Equity.
We give them a chance to be part of the solution instead of being part of the problem.
Peter Cunningham works with another organization, Chicago Cred, who also receives state funding for the Peacekeepers initiative.
Do you check and see if they have an active criminal record when you bring people in to be participants?
No, we don't. We check to see if they have the relationships that would make them effective in the community.
We check to see if they have relationships that will make them effective in the community. We do not vet their criminal record.
And the data clearly shows that they do.
So to be clear, there's no formal criminal vetting process.
No, we know that many of them are justice involved. If we try to eliminate people who are justice involved, we wouldn't find the people who could actually do this work.
Now, to be clear, McMiller did not work with Chicago Cred, and both Peter Cunningham, with whom we spoke, and Governor Pritzker say they did not know McMiller personally. The Cook County State's Attorney's Office tells the I-Team McMiller is still in the hospital tonight for injuries related to that crash on Michigan Avenue. That's why he's not yet appeared before a judge on those most recent charges.
When you gonna wake up? When we gonna wake up? When we gonna stop playing games and it's gonna be enough is enough, and we actually get down to the root cause of what the problems are inside of these communities and stamp it out? Let me know what y'all think inside. I keep telling y'all, let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all.